Hi, thank you for watching a new video blog today from Istanbul, Turkey, and behind me is the University of Istanbul. So is education, the rising educational level amongst women, the reason of declining birth rates? From both sides of the spectrum, the political spectrum, left or right, there are reasons, or they're trying to come up with reasons why there's a declining birth rate. Now, this is a subject that is more of a right-wing subject because they care about tradition, about family, about keeping what is here, maintaining it, not changing. And the left is more celebrating it, that the world population is declining and that countries are disappearing rapidly because they think it has to do with environment and all that stuff, all that nonsense. So today I'll look at the more right-wing argument that declining birth rates has something to do with women attending university more than ever, are being educated more than ever. They say it's all the fault of universities, of the schooling system, because women will extend their desire to have a family until much later, and they postpone it, and after a while they even give up on it. They will not find the right partner, and that's true. It's very important to find your right partner from an early age on. The best is to start looking for someone in your late teens, from 18, and then find someone, a husband, a wife, that is very suitable, that has the same mindset as you, that is your looks equal, so that looks also sort of familiar like you. The best way to find a partner. So that's true. It's true that you need to find a partner early, a husband, wife. I hate the word partner. I just can't stand the word, but it's so commonly used, so sorry about that. And they blame, so the right wing blames university for women like postponing their desire to have a family until later. This sounds plausible. You might think, yeah, that's what I see happening around me. It might be. The reason for some, but it's not the reason. It's not like a fact that when women go to university, then suddenly they give up on building a family. That idea is not true. It might be a plausible reason to explain that for a part of women. Yes, they focus so much on their study that they think, okay, I'm not ready now to be a mother and to marry, etc. So they will eventually lose out. But what you see is that many women that have studied will have a family eventually. A very small family, 1 or 2 children, but that has to do mostly because they are too old when they start a family. They're in their late 30s, and then biology doesn't lie, then it's for them only possible to have 1 or 2 children max. And many of them also stay childless and mostly unwanted. They're not even happy to stay childless, but it's just what happens when you postpone the building of a family. Now, the idea that women going to university means directly lower birth rates, it's false. It's not right. It's not true. Because, as a fact, I went to college. I've never been to university. I went to college, and there were women that have now a family of 4. Some even a family of 5 or 6. And they studied. And that was college, but also I know university women has the same. They have families, 4, 5, 6 children right now. And they all went to university. But these women were from the Orthodox Protestant Church in the Netherlands. It's a minority in the Netherlands of very Orthodox Protestants. For example, they're very strict on many things like abortion, divorcing is very difficult, and they come from mostly more traditional backgrounds, like farmers, fishermen. But nowadays, everybody, all women from that minority, Orthodox Protestant minority, called Reformatorischen, if you want to look it up, they all go to university or college and they all work. Very few of them are stay-at-home moms. And I know, because I know many of them. Yet they manage to have a family of 4, 5, 6, maybe more children. And they attend university, the same as any leftist girl would do. So they're not on a different university. They were in my university. I spent time with them. They were amongst Muslim girls, they were amongst liberal girls, leftist girls, you name it. Average girls without strong opinions. So if the university was really indoctrinating women, or if university was directly the reason why they would not have a family or postpone it, then this also would apply to them, to this Orthodox Protestant minority. But that's not the case. They continue having large families, and they're the exception in the Netherlands. And nothing happened in university that changed their mind. Also having a job didn't change their mind. They just do it. And that's the whole thing with these birth rates. Everybody wants to apply some sort of conspiracy on it, or some kind of reasoning behind it. But the only reasoning behind it is that it is a personal decision. Having a large family is a personal decision. Nobody can change that but you. So these women, they personally decided to have a larger family. And you might say, oh, maybe they're forced by their church or something. Not the case. Totally not the case. Because I also, as a fact, know women that are childless now. They weren't forced to get married or anything. They just decided to stay childless. And they don't have any children right now. And they're older. They're in their 40s. And they don't have a family. They also don't have a husband. It was their personal decision. And I know that many people find it very hard to understand that there are just people that can decide for themselves. And whether it's positive or not, and I don't see it as very positive now that people decide to have too few or no children. I don't think it's very positive, but it's nothing more than their own decision. There's nothing to do with they go to college, they study. It's nothing to do with that. There's also nothing that's being preached in universities, and if there was, I'm sure that people would be smart enough to not fall for it, because that's how most people are. They can see through all the propaganda and the lies. And it's just not true. Again, like I say, from my own experience with women that went to university, are working part-time or full-time now, but still manage to have a large family. In the Netherlands, one of the most feminist countries on the planet, they're doing it. 4 or 5 children. Why? Because they see value in it. Maybe from their religious upbringing, but I also don't really believe that that is that much of an influence, because they are limiting their families to 4, 5 or 6, so they are using birth control. But what I believe is that just a personal decision. You can see it in the countries where people are not that educated. They also have declining birth rates. Why? Because it is a personal decision. And of course, birth control helps. It is of course something that we now have that we didn't have in the past, but still, there are people that have a large family, 4 or 5 or more. And they decide to have that. So when it comes down to declining birth rates, it all has to do with your own mind, your own thinking. Do I want a large family or not? And you are the one that can make the decision for yourself and nobody else. And that is very hard to understand for many. I understand that, but it is what it is. So that was it for today. From Istanbul, Turkey, I say thank you for watching and see you next time.